The hunt is on. There's no going back now. It's in your blood. A primal need that must be met. It drives you. It consumes you. It takes you to the edge. What was once a simple pastime has now become your addiction. This season, come share the excitement with a group of fellow whitetail addicts from Lone Wolf. Learn from their time-tested techniques, as well as their mistakes, and be there to experience firsthand the highs and the lows we've all come to thrive on. They are do-it-yourselfers just like you. Their season begins the moment the last one ends. And when it comes time to release an arrow, they come up big. This is Whitetail Addiction.
Wow, what a cage.
Hi, my name's Heath Cisco, and I'm from Southern Ohio. I have a family, wife Misty, daughters Hadley and Olivia. My wife doesn't hunt, but my two daughters do, and over the last few years they've been very successful. My dad started taking me squirrel hunting at a very young age. I wasn't even old enough to shoot a gun yet. So after doing that for several years, I just got addicted to being in the outdoors and to pursuing game. By the time I was 13, I got into deer hunting, and over the next few years after that, I was able to take a few bucks. And then by the time I was 18, I decided that I was going to start pursuing Pope and Young class animals. I set my goal that fall, and I was able to locate several and hunt them, and was lucky enough in November to be able to take my first Pope and Young deer, and it ended up scoring 131 inches. After that, my addiction for whitetail hunting just kept growing. That's all I could think about. I was in college then, and every chance I would get out of school, I would run home to try to get in the woods during hunting season. And this first hunt, it was early October. I got several pictures of this buck over the last 2 or 3 years. And 3 years prior, he was a decent buck. I could tell by the trail cameras that he could turn into something. And then the following fall, he disappeared. I didn't know what happened to him. But there was this crazy looking buck that showed up, and he had a busted up leg. You could tell he'd been hit by a car, and just had a crazy looking rack. Well, the following year, which was year 3, this buck showed up again, and I kind of recognized his rack, but I wasn't sure. And then once I seen that knee busted up, I knew exactly what it was. So he was a beautiful buck, but it was like October the 13th, and I had another one I had trail camera pictures of that was pushing that 170 mark, so I decided to let this one walk in hopes that he would stick around and hang out in that area and possibly just make that jump the following year and get up into the 170 class range. I got back to Ohio around the first part of November, and hunted really hard, bounced around to a lot of different spots, was able to see numerous different bucks, just could not get on the one that I was after. Towards late November, a really unique buck showed up that had some non-typical points, and you know, I was pretty excited about, so I wanted to get in there to see what he looked like in person. The first evening in there, I had him come through about 20 yards, and it was late. When I got to looking at him, he broke off his G2, and it was his G3, and I just decided that I was going to hold off and keep my options open. And
Heath Cisco is no stranger to late season.
In fact, it's one of his favorite times of the year.
Okay, it's the 14th of January, and I hunted last night about 300 yards from here and seen the buck I was after. He skirted me about 60 yards. I had so many other deer around me that I don't think I got on video, but it was a great hunt. I seen like 25. I'm sitting over here now up against this road with all the brush. Well, I just got him. Man, I had deer all over me. Made a great shot. Oh, yes. Well, January the 14th, about 17 degrees out. We got, I don't know, around 5 inches of snow a couple days ago. Big storm come through and had these deer moving. I've been hunting after this one for a little over a month, moving around, and I've seen him twice. Seen him last night, had him at 60 yards, and tonight come in, had him about 20, and got a good shot. Tickled to death. It's a great buck. I haven't seen him. I never seen him last year. Didn't get pictures of him this year till August, and finally started getting on this one. And with the cold temperatures and the snow, it worked out this evening. Tickled to death. Great buck.
Hi, Andre from Lone Wolf Custom Gear here. Here's something you don't see too often. An Andre set that's about 35 feet high. This set took a lot of time to set up, but if you look behind it, you'll see a ridge that's actually even higher than that stand. And the reason I set up in this particular spot is because of all that cover. When these deer come off of that rim, even above you and at eyesight, if you're trying to sit in a smaller tree, a more open thing, you don't have a prayer. So sometimes you got to pick a tree that might not be as comfortable. And another thing about this, at that height, I can see this entire CRP field down here, so it's a great scouting stand. This is probably a greater scouting stand than a hunting stand. And I get a lot of intel and information watching all the deer come off all these big rims here, and not any of them having a clue visual wise.
Around the end of December, beginning of January, I started getting some older class bucks on camera. Not real big rack wise, but bucks that I was going to be happy to get on and be able to hunt down in January. Well, I slipped in here this evening with my DeQuisto series 1.0. Got up in this cherry tree, and it's overlooking a winter wheat field that I planted back in September. There's several mature bucks coming into this food plot. Just haven't had really good weather to go after them. And Wow, did that happen fast. I'm sitting here looking across the food plot at a couple doe and turkey out there feeding. And I look back and he's coming down along the edge of the food plot and he's already at 15 yards. Grabbed my bow real quick and tried to stop him on my last shooting lane. And I hit him back a little bit because I shot quick, but it looked like a fatal hit because I seen a bunch of blood come out of it. So we'll give him about a half an hour and track him up. So whew, that was exciting, gosh. I got my gear all packed up, shed some clothes. It's been about 45 minutes. I'm feeling good about it. So there's the arrow. Looks good. January 19th, and I was able to slip in here tonight and take this old warrior. This is an old buck. I don't have any history with him. He showed up about December, and this particular farm, usually for some reason, I get a lot of old bucks in here in late season, I guess because of the food. But our weather hasn't been too cooperative for late season hunting this so far this winter. Today was probably one of the coldest days we've had in January and December.
Hi, this is Andre Quisto from Lone Wolf Custom Gear. I wanted to thank you for watching Whitetail Addictions and ask that you become one of our silent partners by hitting the YouTube subscribe button and following us on Facebook and Instagram.